dear students, let's start our lesson. Today we're going to talk about the simple sentence. Types of a simple sentence. Simple sentences. The aim of the lesson, students will be able to know what is the simple sentence and types of a sentence, how to use them in our speech appropriately, correctly. So, let's define and read the rules of the simple sentence to learn what are the types of a sentence. Well, a simple sentence contains only one independent clause. An independent clause is a group of words that has a subject and a verb and can stand alone as a complete thought. These kinds of sentences have only one independent clause and they don't contain any subordinate clauses. They express only one main idea. Independent clause. An independent clause can stand alone as a sentence. It contains a subject and a verb and is a complete idea. As I have just mentioned earlier. So here is an example. I like spaghetti. He reads many books. These sentences could stand alone as a sentence, and these sentences have one subject and one verb. Here's the subject is I, and the verb is books and spaghetti, and the verbs are books and spaghetti. So let's talk about dependent clause. Dependent clause is not a complete sentence. It must be attached to be an independent clause to become complete. This is also known as a subordinate clause. This is also known as a subordinate clause. For example, although I like spaghetti, so we should continue the sentence. Because he reads many books, so as it is known, so these sentences depend to be completed. Subject, a person, animal, place, thing or concept that does an action. Determine the subject in a sentence by asking the question who or what. Who or what do I like? So I like spaghetti, and what does he like to do? He likes to do, or he reads many books. Verb expresses what the person, animal, place, thing or concept does. So we should determine the verb in a sentence by asking the question, what was the action or what happened? I like spaghetti. He reads many books. Next, the movie is good. The be verb is also sometimes referred to as a couple of or a linking verb. Case, the movie, to the complement or the predicate of the sentence. In this case, good. Object, a person, animal, place, thing or concept that receives the action. The subject did what? Or to whom? For whom? Let's talk about object, a person, animal, place, thing or concept that receives the action. For example, I like spaghetti. What do I like? He reads many books. What does he read? And a prepositional phrase. A phrase that begins with a preposition. For example, in, at, for, behind, until, after, of, during, and modifies a word, the sentence. A prepositional phrase answers one of many questions. Here are a few examples. Where, when, in what way. I like spaghetti for dinner. He reads many books in the library. So here's the prepositional phrase are. In the first sentence, for, and in the second sentence, we used the prepositional phrase in. Let me explain the next rule about sentence structure. So we need to know about it as well. English sentence structure. The following statements are true about sentences in English. The first, a new sentence begins with a capital letter. He obtained his degree. So we wrote the first word with the capital letter. It is he. And the second rule, a sentence ends with punctuation. So a period, a question mark, or an exclamation point. He obtained his degree. So we used here a punctuation comma after the word degree. A sentence contains a subject that's only given once. Smith, he obtained his degree. So we deleted the word Smith and used the subject he. We used the subject he only once. A sentence contains a verb or a phrase verb. He obtained his degree. Here's a verb or a verb phrase is the word obtained, from the word to obtain, from the infinitive. A sentence follows subject, verb, object, and word order. How to make up a sentence correctly. He, it is a subject. Obtained, it's a verb. His degree, object. So object answers the questions like what. A sentence must have a complete idea that stands alone. This is also called an independent clause. He obtained his degree. So I have just explained to you English sentence structure. And the next, if we talk about the types of a sentence, we should mention about as well about simple, compound, and complex sentences. Let's discuss sentence types. Simple sentences have one subject and one verb and complete thought. Example, I ran home after the game. So here we should we cannot continue the sentence. It shows a complete thought. Let's talk about compound sentences. Compound sentences have two complete sentences combined with a conjunction. For example, I ran home and John stayed behind. Here we use the conjunction and. Complex sentences have a complete sentence combined with a dependent clause. For example, even though I was tired, I ran home. So here we used a conjunction though. Now look at the sentences. What is a compound sentence and what is a simple sentence? A simple sentence contains only one subject and one verb. For example, I love to eat. And let's look at the compound sentence. I love to eat and she loves to relax. In compound sentence, we use the conjunction and. If we use conjunctions, we can make up a compound sentences. Next example, we have cows and horses. We have cows, but we don't have horses. In compound sentence, the both sentences can stand alone. Next, types of sentences. These are simple, compound, and complex sentences. Let's pay attention to the simple sentence. I passed the exam. So here we have just noted with you that it can stand alone and shows one main idea, one independent clause. I, this is a subject, passed, this is a verb, and what, the exam, this is an object. Compound sentence. I passed the exam and I got a good grade. Here we used a conjunction and make up a compound sentence. So we join two sentences together. I, here is an independent clause and coordinator conjunction, and I, it's an independent clause as well. The next, complex sentence. Even though I passed the exam, I wasn't happy with the grade. So this is a complex sentence. How can we know that it's a complex sentence? So in a complex sentence, we cannot show the main idea. It depends the continuation of the sentence. You see, even though I passed the exam, what happened the next? What was the next step? So we need a continuation of the sentence, and we make up a sentence. I wasn't happy with the grade. So here as well too. The first one is independent clause. Even though I passed the exam, this is an independent clause, and I wasn't happy with the grade. Wait, even though I passed the exam, this is independent. This is an independent clause, and I wasn't happy with the grade. This is a dependent clause. It can stand alone as a sentence. So in today's lesson, I have explained to you what is the simple sentence, how can we use them, and identify types of a sentence. Simple, compound, and complex, dependent clause and independent clause. I hope you got everything. I hope you understood the sense of the meaning of our scene. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye and have a nice day.